Hey, Wentworth World Entertainment, do you remember the movie Real Steel about the giant boxing robots that starred Hugh Jackman? You remember that movie? Did you ever want to see more from that world? Did you ever want to see a sequel? How about a TV series? Because that apparently was the plan, and we're getting an update now, although it doesn't sound like good news because director Shawn Levy has shared a disappointing update on a planned Real Steel revival, which was set to be a Disney Plus series. Now, when you look at who made the movie, the first question you would originally ask was, how the hell is Disney gonna make it when apparently it wasn't Disney? It's 100 bloody studios who worked on this thing. Everybody from DreamWorks to Disney to Paramount worked on this movie. So what's happening now with this series? Well, let's take a look, because this was announced back in 2021 apparently. So it's saying here, it was early 2021 that we first learned of plans for Deadpool and Wolverine and Star Wars Starfighter director Shawn Levy to return to the world of Real Steel for a new Disney Plus series. The 2011 movie starred Hugh Jackman, Evelyn Lilly, and Anthony Mackie, and followed a father and son who reconciled after years apart as they train a junkyard robot to become a boxing champion. Now, I saw the movie. I only ever saw it once. Remember nothing about the thing. Absolutely nothing. So the fact as well that it came out in 2011 is like, that probably contributes to not remembering anything about it. But this continues saying, the movie grossed just shy of 300 million when it was released. And seeing as its budget was only 110 million, it was hard to understand how a big screen sequel never happened. No, it isn't. It's quite easy. It didn't make 300, it made almost 300. Its budget was 110. Marketing was probably another at least 50 to 80 million. The movie would have had to make just over 300 million to break even. So it didn't break even, it didn't make money. That's why you didn't get your sequel. Plus, I don't recall it being all that well received. By critics anyway. I think fans did enjoy it. But it's saying anyway, however, its status as a beloved classic and increased interest after a Netflix debut appeared to have convinced Disney that this was a property worth returning to, or not. Collider recently caught up with Levy and asked where things stand with the project. So the filmmaker replied, I have to credit you, Frosty, of course Stephen Weintraub, because you are tenacious. I feel like we're going to be old men and you're still going to be asking me about Real Steel, which I love you for. The status is unclear, and boy, I wish that I felt it was more likely to happen than I'm currently feeling it is, he added. A stark contrast to last year when he suggested writers were ready to step into the ring. So Levy continued, it's a hard thing because the movie is so beloved in a way that is out of proportion to how the movie did at the box office. And I just don't want to touch Real Steel unless I know I'm doing it justice, whether that's a sequel or a TV show. Right now, I'd say to be determined, but I wouldn't say likely. And I'm sorry to admit it, but I am protecting what is at least a pure love that we all share for that original movie. So it sounds like he's basically saying if it's not good enough that it's not happening, which is interesting because you think Disney would be the type to just kind of go, alright, we'll just move on without you, we don't need you, which is weird. It's also funny that this article is saying like, hey, it almost made 300 million, it had a budget of 110. It makes no sense that it's not on the big screen. And then Shawn Levy himself comes in and says like, yeah, the box office wasn't great. You know, the love for the movie isn't anywhere close to what the movie actually made, i.e. it failed on the big screen box office wise, which means we weren't going to move forward with more even though there seems to be love for the movie. So the idea that it could have been a series, obviously if it was, you weren't getting Hugh Jackman back. Like, let's be clear about that. You weren't going to get Hugh Jackman to come back for a Disney Plus series. Who else would have come in? Don't know. Probably no one from the movies. Maybe the kid. So, that could be the angle they went with. Again, though, I remember next to absolutely nothing about that movie. Other than it was basically, and I remember everyone calling it was like Rocky but with robots. And it really was kind of those rock'em sock'em robot type things. So the idea that they did apparently announce a series back in 2021. Now, I wonder where the direction went from there to now, where he's talking about, like, and this is now, whether that's a sequel to the movie or a TV series. So I wonder what the conversation was. Was it always to be just a series, or were they talking about possibly sequel to the movie, or what? At this stage, and the way Disney go, you would assume they would probably be more inclined to do a full-on reboot at this stage. Wouldn't put it past them, because if anyone's like me, you're probably forgetting what the movie was and what it was about and all that stuff, and they probably think nowadays, oh, if we remake it, we can do it right. That type of attitude. A series, it would cost a fortune probably to do a series, unless there's next to no actual robots and they make it the real human story. And I don't, even though I don't really remember anything about that movie, I don't recall there being all that much of the robots actually fighting. I remember the big, pretty sure he was a big rusty one that they were working on. Like, it was more the story of the father and son reconnecting. Was it Jackman's character? Was he an alcoholic or something, or a recovering alcoholic or something like that? I think. I can't quite remember. But I remembered, I thought the movie was okay. I remember that. Like, I remember watching it going, yeah, that was alright. It wasn't fantastic or anything, It wasn't like just mind-blowing, oh my god, I need more of these. It was like this, yeah, it was fine. A series on it, I don't see the appeal of a series, to be honest. I think you'd probably have a better chance of doing a movie rather than a series, but what do I know? Could be completely wrong. All you guys could absolutely love the idea of a series, but I just don't know. I just don't see it, and by the sounds of it, it's not happening anyway. Shawn Levy seems to be very much kind of making that obvious that it's like, yeah, we were talking about it, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. The fact that he's saying, like, bless you for constantly bringing this up, which is probably will you stop bringing it up? That's probably what he's talking about, but yeah, it doesn't sound like it's going to happen. So we'll wait and actually see. But what do you guys think? Would you have liked to have seen a Real Steel series rather than a Real Steel 2? And what do you think? Do you think it will happen either as a series or possibly a movie? Do you even think Disney would just go all in and reboot the thing completely? Let us know. And with that, I'll leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, hit that hype button and all that good stuff. Cheers! I'll catch you in the next one.